Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Dekkades of Cooking, where we will be taking a little adventure in cooking. It's simple, it's easy, it's effortless, and it is delicious. Dekkade, effortlessly delicious. And so today we're going to explore one of our favorite actually very easy and flavorful recipe. Very first thing, guys, don't forget to subscribe to our channel Dekkades of Cooking. Go ahead and press that button and subscribe to our channel. So we're first and foremost, you're gonna see we have a beautiful slab of or rack of ribs. This really wasn't too expensive in the store. You can probably get that for I got this for about $16. You can really get it for about between $10 and $20. I don't see it being more than that, but it's a really beautiful cut of meat, and that's what we're going to be using today. So the very first thing we're going to do, we're going to marinate our meat, and so we're going to use just two simple ingredients in there. We're going to use some salt. We're going to take 2 teaspoons of salt, and we're also going to use our red pesto. As you can see, our red pesto is right there. It's just filled with flavors, all natural flavors. There is no artificial flavor. There is no MSG in there. It is an all natural seasoning, so you can use it as your marinade. That's what we're going to do to marinate our rack of ribs today. And so we're just using 2 tablespoons of salt and our red. For this, we're using the red pestonade. Okay, once you have the ingredients, you pour it over the meat. Make sure you wash your hands, or you can use gloves if you want to, but always have clean hands. And so you're going to rub that pestonade and the salt into that meat. Make sure you rub it in. I mean, it's home cooking. You're at your home. Just always ensure that your hands are clean, but just rub that pestonade all over the meat, in the back, turn it over, all over in the front, in the back. Rub that pestonade. Make sure it gets in all the crevices, every part of that meat. And so once we have that done, we're going to transfer that meat into the container that we're going to keep it in the refrigerator. So we're going to transfer it into a nice glass container, glass bowl. We're going to cover it with some plastic wrap, and then we're just going to put it in the fridge. Now, you can leave it overnight if you choose to. I'm doing it overnight.
The next day.
So now it's the other day, and so we're going to create a beautiful sauce so that we can bake our ribs and can have this really, filled with flavor, soft, falling off the bones rib. These are the ingredients that we're going to create a special sauce for baking, for the entire baking process. It really is easy. Again, you're not going to be going back and forth, taking out and putting. You're just going to cover the ribs with the sauce and place it in the oven. So here are all the ingredients that we're going to use today. So just the introduction of the sauces that we're using. We're using some honey. We have some soy sauce. We have some hoisin sauce, and that's an Asian style sauce. We're also going to use some rice vinegar, and for those of you who don't know, I really love rice vinegar because it has such a mild flavor. It's really a mild flavored vinegar. But if you don't have rice vinegar, you can substitute for a red wine vinegar or just plain old white vinegar. But we also add some chili powder and some cayenne pepper for a little bit of spiciness. Some yellow mustard to bring everything together really nicely. That's what mustard does. It emulsifies very well. We add some onion powder, some paprika, love paprika, and also some garlic powder. We also have some black pepper, and we're going to be using some sesame oil. If you've never used sesame oil, another very Asian style type of cooking ingredient. So make sure you have a nice bowl, a large enough bowl, deep enough bowl. You can get a glass bowl, a plastic bowl, and a good whisk to blend to get all the ingredients nicely mixed together. So we begin with our rice wine vinegar. You'll get the measurements. Look on the bottom for the measurements, or they'll also be shown on the screen. Then we add our honey into it. We add our soy sauce. Then we do our hoisin sauce. So these are the 4 sauces that we're adding there to start off with. Then we add our sesame oil, not too much, maybe just about a teaspoon of sesame oil because it is so powerful and flavorful. Then we add in our paprika. Again, I would say just eyeballing it, it's about a teaspoon of paprika right there that we add. We go ahead and we add the mustard. Mustard tends to do that sometimes. You sense of a little bit of water first, but we add about 1 teaspoon of mustard. Then we add some black pepper. Again, you just add, sufficient for your taste. We add a nice portion of garlic powder, and as you can see, if you need the exact recipes there and quantity, they're on the recipe at the bottom of the video. You can check it out. I really love garlic, so I add quite a bit of garlic powder and onion powder also. You can add the same quantity or half 2-to-1 ratio of garlic powder to onion powder. Then we add our cayenne pepper, and be careful because cayenne pepper can be very spicy. It depends to what level of spiciness you want, and of course some chili powder. So these are the last 2 ingredients that we're adding in. And then we start mixing all our ingredients together, give it a really nice whisk. And just continue making it until it comes really nice and smooth. And guys, I knew that I was forgetting one ingredient all along. I kept saying to myself, I know there is an ingredient I'm forgetting. And sure enough, I forgot one of the most ingredients in there, which is ketchup. Yeah, our good old ketchup. So you're going to just add some ketchup to the mixture. Again, you can put the same quantity of ketchup as hoisin sauce, and that should balance it off. So we do need some ketchup in there. So yes, guys, our good old Heinz ketchup, whatever ketchup you have, whatever brand you have, you can use it. But certainly ketchup does add to the flavor. And I know we used sesame oil, and it might not be common depending on where you're cooking. And again, make it yours, make the recipe yours. That's the whole idea. I see things sometimes. I start with this recipe, and this recipe, to be honest with you, it's a variation of a recipe I got when I came up. My sister, way back then when I lived in Florida, she always made these ribs, and I'm not really a big rib fan, but whenever she made it, it was so tasty. But again, once you have all the ingredients, you just go ahead and just whisk it really nicely and make it into a nice smooth sauce. Well, this is our marinated ribs. We just get the plastic off of it, and look at that, everything is nicely just all the flavors are infused in there. And so we're going to transfer this into a Dutch oven. So this is a good old Dutch oven. I think every home should have one. So this is where we're transferring all our meat into. That's where it's gonna be baked. Man, now we're gonna get our sauce that we just made, our special sauce, over the ribs in the Dutch oven, and we're going to ensure that we cover all areas of it with that special sauce. Let me tell you something, the aroma that's coming from that sauce, especially with all these ingredients and the nuttiness of that sesame oil and the rice vinegar, everything just combined, it's not even baked yet, but you smell this really those aromatic flavors are in there. So you just ensure that you cover every part in the top, turn it over if you have to. And again, if you want to use gloves, you can add gloves to not have your hands smell of the seasonings when you're done, or you can wash your hands. Again, this is food and this is home cooking. Love the feel of the food, so my hands are clean. I wash them right before I touch them. So I always ensure that you practice hygiene. You keep your hands washed at all times, and so you just ensure that you pass this all over. You can get a nice just a nice little brush, if you have a brush, and brush the sauce all over the meat. Make sure every part of the meat gets that sauce before you just cover it and put it in the oven. So to be honest with you, I think the brush does the best job. So just buy one of these little brushes. Right now they come in the silicone style, so they're so much easier to clean up than the other types of brushes, and they're pretty reasonable. So you can use one of those to nicely spread the sauce all over the ribs before it goes into the oven. Ribs are covered, then we're going to transfer it into the oven. We're going to set our oven temperature to 400 degrees. Ensure that your container that you're using is properly covered so all the steam stays in, because it's actually steaming the meat while it cooks, while it bakes. So make sure if you're using foil that it's tucked, all the edges are tucked in properly. But the Dutch oven does a great job. You just have to cover it up. Once we put it into the oven, we're gonna just turn our backs on it for at least 90 minutes. If you have a timer, If your slab of ribs are probably a little bit smaller, you might want to check it after an hour, but at least 90 minutes should give it its first set of baking before you check it. So you can leave it in for 90 minutes, which is an hour and a half. Then you can just base it, take some of the gravy. It makes its own gravy at that point. You pour it over it, you put it back in the oven. You can put it back for around 15 minutes to half an hour. After half an hour, your meat should be thoroughly cooked and falling off the bone cooked. So once you're finished, after about the 2 hours of baking, and you remove it, you can pair it with whatever you want. I just have some zucchini. You can it's already pork, so I just decided to pair it with some zucchini, but you can pair it with whatever you want. Again, make the recipe yours. And I hope you enjoyed our recipe. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to Dekkades of Food, or subscribe to our channel where we're going to have many more recipes as time progresses. Thank you, guys. Bye.